So what is the next big Sonic game going to be? Let's discuss the possibilities right now.
I got hot sauce in my bag, swag.
A quick shout out to CT Duranto and a bunch of numbers. This is a fan art of Metal Duckles that they drew for me. It's actually based off of some Infinity Stone, I think, from the Avengers movie. I didn't watch the Avengers, so I'm really sorry for not knowing. But Metal Duckles looks absolutely epic here, so thank you so much for this. I think they also drew a second art, so I think it's this one. But yeah, thank you so much for these art pieces. I really appreciate it. Anyway, hello there beautiful human, my name is RidersDX. Welcome to my channel, where today we're finally gonna talk about Sonic again. I'll be honest y'all, I feel like I haven't touched Sonic in terms of content on this channel in what feels like forever. I mean, it's really wild because when I first started off making YouTube videos, I was basically making 90% Sonic videos, and now I've been able to successfully branch out to different topics, and I'm really grateful for that. But I was really missing Sonic, and so I just wanted to make a video kind of speculating about what could be coming next, because there isn't really any big Sonic news right now. I mean, the movie's been pretty quiet recently because they're hard at work at the redesign. There doesn't seem to be any new Sonic games coming out this year besides Olympic Games, which no one really cares about, and so yeah, there's really not much else to talk about. However, there was one thing that was kind of mentioned about what the next big move is in terms of Sonic, and so we saw this little graphic that came out of a magazine, I think, that basically talked about what Sonic's accomplishments were this year, which to be honest weren't that many, but they're also talking about how 2021, Sonic's 30th anniversary, will be the next big year for Sonic, and so I guess that kind of means we're gonna get a big game that year, hopefully. And if we're gonna get the next big game in 2 years, then it's gonna be a really long wait for Sonic, let me tell you right now, because that means we have to wait the rest of this year and all of next year for the next big Sonic game. But if that's what they're gonna do, then I guess that's what they're gonna do, and let's just hope that the next Sonic game doesn't end up like Forces, because we all know that Forces took 4 years of development, which is absolutely insane, and really came out to be the way that was. So extra time developing a game really doesn't mean much to me at this point, but hopefully the next Sonic game will be epic and will kind of blow our minds away. But I have a few ideas of what that next big Sonic game could be, so I'm just gonna go down this list and we're gonna discuss. So make sure you stick to the end to kind of hear all the ideas I've laid out, and let me know in the comment section below which one you like best, or if you don't like any of them, then please let me know your idea and what you would like to see for the next big Sonic game. Option 1, and this is a pretty straightforward option, is another Sonic Boost game. And so obviously the Boost formula has been a big staple in the Sonic franchise for a while now. I mean, we've had it since Sonic Unleashed, so it's been over a decade now of this formula, and Sonic Team and Sega have done a pretty good job, I would say, of refining it. I mean, obviously Sonic Forces was a bit of a misstep, but in Sonic Generations, I really feel like that was the best version of the Boost formula that we've ever gotten, and they were actually experimenting more with having more 3D movement. And so I think if they were to make another Boost Sonic game, the natural next step would be to kind of incorporate more 3D platforming into the levels, because I think in Generations they were feeling more comfortable with adding more platforming in 3D sections, and so I would love to kind of see that expanded upon more instead of just being a linear hallway like Forces was. And so yeah, I don't think it would be necessarily a bad thing to keep going with the Boost formula, because I still think there's a lot they could do with it and a lot they could do to grow it. But I don't know, it's been a decade at least of having this formula. It might be time to change to something new. The second option I have in terms of the next big Sonic game would be a Sonic Mania 2. And so I have absolutely no doubt that Sonic Mania 2 is being developed right now. I mean, Sega would be fools to not hire Christian Whitehead and his team back to make another game. They would just be absolute fools. And so I have no doubt that they made such an obvious decision and that they are hard at work at a sequel. But would that be the next big Sonic game? I mean, honestly, it could be, We all see how much Sega and Sonic team have been promoting Sonic Mania on their social media accounts, plugging in whenever they can. That's the highest rated Sonic game in like 10 years. And so Sonic Mania is here to stay. And if Sonic Mania 2 is going to be the next big hyped up Sonic game, then it would make total sense because that's basically the biggest thing they have going on in the Sonic franchise right now. It honestly is the biggest success. It probably sold a lot of copies as well. And so I have no doubt in my mind that it is at least happening. If it's not the main Sonic game coming out in 2021, it'll definitely still be a game coming out. And so that's something that we don't really have to assume. I hope that in the sequel that they will have like completely original stages. I also hope that they do a little bit more to the gameplay, kind of play around with it a little bit more. I know that it's very, very tricky messing with like such a classic formula. I would really love to see what Christian Whitehead and his team would do to spice up the gameplay a little bit, because I really feel like they have what it takes to make a more innovative title with the second Sonic Mania. Now the third option I have, and this is the option I personally think is what they should go with in terms of a big 30th anniversary game, is a Sonic Adventure remake. And my idea specifically is I actually want them to make both Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2 and put that into one package as a complete remake of the two adventure games. And the reason that I think this is their best option if they want to go out big bang for the 30th anniversary, it's just really, really fitting, First of all, remakes are at an all-time high right now in terms of trends. I mean, we saw the Crash and Spyro remakes and how successful they were. SpongeBob is coming out with a remake too next year. It just seems like remakes are the hottest thing right now, and Sega and Sonic Team would be absolute fools not to take advantage of that. Sonic Adventure 1 and Sonic Adventure 2 are both very, very iconic games within the Sonic franchise, and they have a lot of fans, and there's a lot of people that would just go and buy a remake no matter what bad things they would hear about it on the internet. It's got the power of nostalgia, and nostalgia is really hot right now. Sonic Team and Sega definitely realize that because of the fact that they've been promoting Sonic Mania so much on their social media platforms, and also the fact that like Team Sonic Racing itself has a lot of nods to the adventure games. And so I really think that like an adventure remake would be the best move right now for Sega and Sonic Team, because I honestly feel like that Sonic the Hedgehog is not that exciting right now. Team Sonic Racing was pretty underwhelming. Sonic Forces really put a damper on things. Sonic Mania really is the only thing that's given this franchise any good press. And so I think an adventure remake, sticking closely to what those games did and just offering a brand new version of those games, would be an instant way to kind of get people back on Sonic's good side. And so I don't know if that's going to be like the main big Sonic game that'll be in 2021, but I really do hope that's at least a project that they're working on. I also think it would really fit just because Sonic Adventure 2 came out on the 10th anniversary. So to have a Sonic Adventure 2 remake come out 20 years later would just be absolutely perfect. And so, I really hope that Sega doesn't really pass up on this opportunity and actually goes full on with a Sonic Adventure 1 and a Sonic Adventure 2 remake. Now, those are the three main topics that I was thinking could be the next big Sonic game, but a fourth thing I guess we could kind of think about is the fact that it might be something completely different. And so, like I said before, the boost formula has been used for over 10 years at this point. It might be the time to start changing things up and to give us something a little bit different. And so, what would that different style be then, What would Sonic look like in today's modern gaming landscape? I think one idea that people have been bouncing around for a while now is the idea of an open world Sonic game. Now, an open world Sonic game is something that I have a lot of mixed feelings about, just because I feel like an open world Sonic game kind of goes against the idea of Sonic the Hedgehog and what his levels are all about. Sonic's all about getting to the end as fast as you can, and if you have an open world Sonic game, there's just not enough structure to have that kind of game going on. However, it could still very well be possible to speedrun an open world game, and we've definitely seen it with a bunch of different collectathons with lots of people kind of like speeding through these games, having record times and just really going as fast as they can. So you could still go fast in an open world game, it just would be in a different way, and I'm just not sure if that would be a Sonic way. However, I think one example I'd like to bring up is Crash Twinsanity, because the original Crash games were structured a lot like getting to the end as fast as you can, but Crash Twinsanity kind of turned the idea upside down and made made a more open worldish approach. I mean, it wasn't a completely open world game, but it felt like one. And so if the next Sonic game wanted to take more of an open world tone at least, then that might be a possible idea how they do it, you know? And maybe have like a few different like overworlds for Sonic to freely travel through, but when he goes to the actual levels, make them a little bit more linear. So yeah, another idea might be a 2.5D side scroller. And so I honestly feel like Sonic Mania has made it very clear that 2D Sonic games are still very much like in demand, and maybe they want to make something new along with like Sonic Mania and just kind of go down that 2D route even more. I kind of hope that they don't do this because I really want 3D Sonic to like succeed, but I could also very well imagine them making the next big Sonic game a 2.5D adventure. And so I don't know, 2D might be the direction for Sonic to go in. But one more thing that I'm thinking might be another game to come out would be another spin-off. And so it'd be really weird to kind of think of like the next big Sonic game as another spin-off, but maybe it's a spin-off like an RPG game, for example. It could be that. And you know, RPG games are really huge, and I feel like the Sonic franchise is perfect for an RPG game because there's so many different characters, so many different abilities, so many different locations to travel through. A role-playing game would be really interesting. Of course, we also could get like a racing game, a party game, you know, so many different kinds of games because Sonic has definitely had a lot of spin-offs in the past, so I wouldn't really put it past Sega to kind of put Sonic in like anything, honestly. But yeah, those are all my ideas, you know. I really don't know what else to think about in terms of like what the next big Sonic game would be. I just kind of hope we get something, and the Olympic Games really doesn't count. I really don't care too much about that game. I really just want Sonic to like come back, you know. I want Sonic to really come back in a way that Crash and Spyro were able to, you know. Have people get excited for Sonic again. And so the next Sonic game really needs to do a good job of reeling people back in, because I honestly feel like Sonic is just looked at as like one of those meh franchises right now, you know. Not amazing, not terrible, just like meh. And I think having a meh franchise is the worst thing you can have because people don't care about it. You know, at least when we had Shadow the Hedgehog and Sonic 06 come out, people still cared a lot about Sonic. They just were very upset with the franchise. But now not only does Sonic have like mediocre games, but also just a severe lack of people that care about Sonic. And yeah, that's just something that really scares me actually. So I really hope the next Sonic game does a lot to bring people back into the Sonic franchise. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Which of my ideas do you think would be the best next Sonic game? Which of them do you think will happen? And also let me know your ideas in the comment section below what you think the next Sonic game will be like. And yeah, thank you so much. Alright, please give this video a thumbs up if you like it, subscribe to my channel if you like videos like these, want to see more in the future, follow me on Twitter or Twitch, and join my Discord server, the Spongy Garden. Special shout out to my only patron, Reese Gaming. If you want to become a patron or YouTube member and earn lots of different perks, then consider joining in the description box below. But alright everyone, this is Riders, riding out.